This is the one burning question that almost all tech videos and reviews fail to address. Is it still good in the long run? This setup is now 3 years old, and in that time, some things have gone, some things have stayed, and today's main characters are the ones that stayed. To keep things transparent, I'll indicate how many years I've used the accessory and whether it came from my personal wallet or free via sponsorship. So, without further ado, onward to the first desk item. A setup has certain non-negotiables, and as a creator, audio is easily one of them. When I first put my setup together back in 2023, I had this cheap USB mic, but after hearing myself talk into it, you're able to take some inspiration from here. And if anything stood out to you, So when Fifine offered a dynamic mic as my very first sponsorship, I pretty much threw myself at the opportunity. And 2 years later, I still don't intend on replacing it. All of my videos since then have been recorded on this mic. It sounds crispy, professional, and is pretty much half the cost of big brand dynamic mics. Everything about this mic is well put together. With an aluminum chassis, minimal aesthetic, dual XLR and USB-C connectivity, and a solid audio range, the mic is a smart budget option that should not be slept on. While on the topic of mics, it's also important to consider the interface. Sound quality from XLR is usually better than USB-C, which is the case for Fifine, so I also opted to nab an interface. This is the Arteria Minifuse and was a gift from the missus 2 years ago.
You're welcome.
Now, I get that while saying this device is a budget option with a price point of over $100 might sound like a lie. It's not, especially considering the price of interfaces. This interface delivers on everything I'd expect from an entry-level professional device. Easy plug-and-play operation, great sound quality, and robust build details. The only issue I've had with it is on rare occasion, Discord really hates working with it. Like, I'll open up Discord and then suddenly all of my audio just stops working correctly. Like, it's weird, and I don't know if that's like a general interface issue or like a software issue or yeah. If you've been with this channel for a little bit, you know that lighting is mentioned frequently, and lighting is important. It turns your space from chud to chad. The amount of time I've had my lighting accessories ranges from 1.5 to 2.5 years, with none of them coming from sponsorships. And the budget is honestly a mixed bag as well. Some from obscure AliExpress stores, others name brands. But rather than go through my entire list of lighting peripherals, I think it would be more helpful to help you guys understand which lights to cheap out versus pay premium. So here's Han's simple guide to lighting gear. Need high levels of brightness such as task lighting or wide coverage backlighting? Go with reputable brands. A lot of the AliExpress brands either lie about their max brightness or just use materials that diffuse light rather poorly. But if you want accent lighting to maybe soften some shadows or just act as an accessory itself, going budget isn't bad at all. For example, these light slicers were 50% cheaper than its name brand counterpart. Since it only needs to be bright enough to separate itself from the wall, I saw no need to invest in premium lighting. However, the downside to budget lighting options is that they are inconsistent sometimes in an ecosystem setting, such as trying to sync with Google Home or Alexa. So do take that into consideration. It should be a no-brainer that your chair is going to be one of those things to not gloss over. This is the Steelcase Carmen, and these glutes have been making love to it for the past 2 years. This was a very hefty, unsponsored personal investment, but well worth. The chair is beautifully crafted, and the quality lives up to the Steelcase brand. The main features of this chair include a 4-stop adjustment and a dynamic resistant tilt that increases support as you lean. The lumbar support feels great, and the seat itself makes it feel like I'm floating. As someone who loves form and function, this chair is quite the aesthetic statement, with a satisfying modern silhouette that beautifully accents the entire space. With that being said, office chairs are by no means a cheap investment, so definitely do your due diligence. A great resource is Honestly, a fantastic in-depth channel specializing in office chairs. For me, this chair was worth every penny as someone who is at their setup for 10 or more hours a day. While my setup is mainly dedicated to productivity, I do sometimes like to fire up a game or two to reduce my already non-existent sanity. About a year ago, this new brand called Chillkey reached out about a gaming mouse. Having previously owned the Model O and Superlight, I was curious about this new mouse that also has a screen? And consider me pleasantly surprised. The Chillkey Glacier comes with all the necessary specs of any competitive lightweight gaming mouse. The screen is a slightly gimmicky but useful feature for a quick battery life check without needing to open up software. And the entire time that I've had it, I have never had a single issue with the gaming experience. The Chillkey has since fully replaced the Superlight as my main gaming mouse. The only real complaint that I have is that the material is a fingerprint magnet. Regardless, this is not a mouse I intend on replacing anytime soon. I feel like recently, keyboards have really evolved into an art form, which is honestly cool to see. I've seen some really unique designs on keyboards, this being one of them. This is a piece of metal, and that's not an understatement. Pretty much everything about this keyboard is made from aluminum, from the chassis to the casing, and even the keycaps. Made in Germany from a company called Geist Machine, this is their signature Geist keyboard. Purchased a year ago out of my crying wallet, at this point, it's just as much of a statement piece as it is a typing mechanism. But the real story that I want to drive home with this specific segment isn't to promote or showcase a specific keyboard, but rather the idea of custom boards. I remember switching to a mechanical board for the first time was like when I first discovered sugar. The little dopamine kick I get every time the Switch creams when I bottom out is sensational. The point is, mechanical keyboards are a ton of fun, and they make working just that much more satisfying. I literally love scripting because it gives me a reason to type on this thing. So yeah, if you don't have a mechanical keyboard, think about getting one. And that actually wraps up the 6 desk accessories that I refuse to replace. Hopefully this brought some inspiration for you and your setup. And if you enjoy these cinematic takes on tech videos, help this channel grow with a subscription. As always, thanks for watching, and see you in the next film.